Whatever your situation, it's always good to have multiple sources of income in this economy. In a previous article, I covered 5 side hustles that can help you earn an extra $1,000 a month. It's a great place to start when looking for ways to supplement your income. With that being said, many of those pursuits require a lot of manpower and hours to get started. What if you already have a busy full-time schedule and want to earn some additional income during your evenings? We got you covered here. These are 3 remote jobs that you can do at home.
You may find it surprising, but you can get paid simply for sharing your thoughts and preferences on various topics. When you take a paid survey from platforms like FreeCash or branded surveys, you're essentially helping companies, organizations, and market research firms gather data that they can use to make informed decisions and improve their products or services. Technology and even entertainment. Some services also pay you to test apps and games. If you have already graduated, you can also reach out to your former professors.
This side hustle has been popular the last few years for a reason. Business owners, executives, and corporate managers have been hiring virtual assistants to take things off their plates so they can instead focus on tasks that bring the most value to their organization. If you're up for administrative work, social media management, creative work, and even online customer support, you can often choose your preferred schedule. I recommend building up your profile to completion and taking up some entry-level experiences to gain your initial 5-star reviews.
Enterprising groups like Sanatan Sanstha were working at the grassroots level to seed ethnically charged narratives, traveling from village to village with hard drives loaded with propaganda. Since then, the channels available to them have changed profoundly. Today, more than half the population, the most in the world, the users are no longer predominantly urban. Nobody has tapped into this proliferation better than right-wing groups dedicated to fostering communal disharmony, moving from hard disks filled with videos and laptops in temples.
Who had exposed several religious figures for spreading medical misinformation and pseudoscience and campaigned in favor of intercommunity marriages. It was the beginning of a spree of killings. In February 2015, the 81-year-old author and politician Govind Panzar was shot at his home in Maharashtra. 6 months later, university professor, who spoke out against religious superstition and blind faith, was shot dead in Karnataka state. A year later, in September 2017, secular journalist Gauri Lankesh was shot dead in the same state.
India's Muslim population are still the core narratives of far-right propaganda today. But they're no longer distributed. Instead, they are broadcast to millions of people in a constant flow of disinformation over WhatsApp. On the messaging app, far-right groups have created a vastly magnified version of Sanatan Sanstha's outreach program. The expansion of mobile internet access across the country happened in parallel with the adoption of the platform, and sharing news, and conducting business. Its power as a political tool was obvious from the start.
Munzer says that the growth of WhatsApp and the proliferation of smartphones was also a boon for people looking to spread misinformation, who realized that they could bypass the institutions of mass communication and create a parallel information space. The right-wingers very intelligently adopted digital media as mass media, he said. They tapped into the masses that weren't exposed to any kind of media at all. Fake news, misleading pictures, and hate videos circulated via social media have been influential in shaping public opinion and have cost lives.
Unlike YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, there is no algorithm boosting content on WhatsApp, says Pratik Wagar, Policy Director at the Internet Freedom Foundation, an NGO. That is solely dependent on the ability to build a human distribution mechanism through a network of hundreds of thousands of WhatsApp groups that can spread the desired narrative. There has been a proliferation of channels that broadcast extreme nationalist rhetoric because, human rights groups say, the polarization suits the BJP, which runs on a majoritarian, Hindu nationalist platform.
Maharashtra has been increasingly split by religious conflict, which has played out online and offline. Right-wing groups have created a system of lateral surveillance. Decades ago, photographers steered the process with film chemistry, lens selection, shot framing, and darkroom alterations. Smartphone image processing and generative AI make those analog-era alterations look primitive. And for many photos that matter, like those in an insurance claim or published by the news media, technology is arriving that can digitally build some trust into the photo itself.
Jeremy Garrettson, a professional photographer in New York, is acutely aware of these context differences as he shifts among photojournalism, event photography, portraiture, and landscapes. Truth in photography is on a sliding scale. 2/3 of the pixels are completely made up, generated by your device, not recorded, said Haney Farid, a University of California, Berkeley professor who has studied photo authenticity for decades and who once helped launch an image authenticity startup. The worse it does distinguishing between detail and noise.